Make sure you're on the right intro. They don't cut the stream off. I've done that before.
Ouch.
Are you hammered somebody online?
Oh, that's one lady.
We got the plans cause we are the tech shamans. We understand cause we are the tech shamans. Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome, yeah. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Cool.
Good. Yeah, that was awesome. That was he triggers will get you every time.
I like it.
That's just the way.
Got that trigger finger going on.
Yeah. Sometimes we get all like, we have these things that automatically make things work. So good morning, everybody. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
So how is the time change treating everybody?
I woke up and I had completely forgotten about it, and I woke up and I went,
wow.
oh. So fortunately, it was on the weekend. So
To me, it doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
I don't know why everybody's like, oh, it's so bad, I can't do this. No way, man. I love that. I like getting up early anyway. I'm up at 5, so now I'm up at 3, right?
Wow.
And it was really, it was really, 4, because I'm normally up at 5, so now I'm up at 3. Oh, no, 4. So it's just.
I want to be a morning person so bad, but
I drive everybody in my house no one's morning people except for me. I get up, I'm singing, I'm yelling, I got the music up. It's a party.
I used to be, and now I'm just not.
As you noticed, John said that it didn't bother him, but he's
couldn't
thinking
do
it's
math.
3.
Yeah.
I couldn't do math.
Exactly. Yeah.
But this morning, anyway. Now, you know what got me this morning is the fog.
Yes.
Yeah,
oh,
I know,
my
right?
gosh.
Because normally, we have fog, but we don't have a lot of fog here.
But California fog.
Yeah, it's California. I mean, it's like, dude, you couldn't see 10 feet in front of your car.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I had to drive slower and take people and drop them off and blah, blah, blah. And it's like,
It was impressive.
Drive slower, work harder.
And then people that don't run with their lights on. I literally stopped on the way here because we hit a red light and this little car zoomed in and cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
I literally got out of my truck, walked up to the car, and then I said, turn your effing lights on.
Yeah.
I said, I don't care that you cut me off. Turn your lights on. We can't see you. You're gray.
You idiot. Yeah.
That's even worse.
God.
It's not like a bright yellow.
No.
The
It's
car
not like
pulls
you
in front.
know.
It's great.
But anyway, hey, we're going to talk about how to be. So
Technologies.
you want to be a YouTube star?
Yeah.
You want to be a Facebook star? You want to be a
Yes.
star on the internet? Well,
Yeah.
okay, today we're going to teach you how.
Yeah.
Because it's not what you think it is,
No.
right?
In the technology for kind of the YouTube of the world now. Now it's, 5 years ago you could be like, I want to be a YouTuber and, show cats or unbox things and you could, and you could make a living. Today, that's not the case.
Yeah,
And
crap
so
is
you
no
really-
longer king.
You really have to, the bad video or really, junky stuff where you're running down the street with your phone doesn't work anymore because there's so many people who can manage production now that you have to step up your game.
Yep.
And so I brought some technology today to talk a little bit about the levels of where you want to go. You could be a real estate person, you could be a mortgage broker, you could be a lawyer, whatever you want to do. A lot of it, beyond the technology, I'll warn everybody, it's about the commitment versus, just owning the cameras.
You mean you just can't do a show every now and then to be a star?
I love the fact that, like, when I'm on a photo shoot or something like that, or someone sees a picture I do fine art photography, so if I sold a picture for $2,500, they go, wow, you must have a really good camera. Or if you do a great video, they go, wow, you must have like a really good, video camera. And that's typically not the case because, John can probably outshoot me with lighting and sound on a cell phone versus a huge, camera like this. And so, but what I wanted to talk about today is kind of the levels. And, when you decide I want to be a YouTube person and I should get my law firm on YouTube, it boils down to channel and then technology and then distribution. And so first, get a YouTube channel and set it up properly. There's a million tutorials and things like that, and we can even teach you how to do it. My company does that, but typically not. Typically, you can just go to YouTube. There's a lot of tutorials from YouTube on how to set up your channel properly so you can get seen, and then how to optimize it. There's like art and stuff like this.
Okay, so my question to you is, and before we just go down this big path of equipment, because we both all have...
Yeah, we're going to talk about equipment.
Do you think it's still possible to be a YouTube star today?
It is. I know, in fact, I was on a plane with a guy who is probably, I think he was 19, and he showed me his stats because I was like kind of calling him on his BS because I was sitting next to him on the plane, and he does some kind of funny prank videos and things like this, and he makes, he pulls down over 10 grand a month. And he has one person part-time helping him on staff for some research stuff, and that's it. And so, he makes $14,000 a month on...
Yeah, but how long's he been doing it?
3 years.
Okay.
And so, he's been doing it a while. You get... but I think there's still...
So he came in on the end of it.
He came in on the end.
Because I have a hard time believing today that you can become you can go back to being a YouTube star. I think it's hard. I think it's hard now.
Here is the way that you kind of monetize.
Plus you got big boobs,
right?
Just saying.
Yeah, but here's the way you monetize it. I was talking to. I've worked with a person called Hannah Hart, and she was like, YouTube can make you famous, but not rich. It's your job to make you rich.
That's right.
And so what happens is you can get, with good content, you can get seen and things like this. But right now, the way that YouTube is handling their videos, and because so much is uploaded, it's really difficult to kind of get monetized, number one, on video, and then two, make money at it. But what I'm talking about is the air conditioning guy. I'm talking about the lawyer getting out there and having people in your local market watching your videos by ranking and things like that. I think it's really difficult to make a living. I think it's exceptional that people today can make the kind of money that you used to be able to make. Making $100 grand a year on YouTube is almost an impossibility unless you get a sponsor. If you can get, the way that you do it now is you get your subscriber base up, and then you get a sponsor, whether it's someone who sponsors you like Canon or Nikon, like if you're doing that type of stuff, or whatever you're doing, gardening, Scots can do. So you kind of want to get the sponsorship is where most people make their money. And so that, but what you're asking is, the answer is probably not. It's going to be really difficult for you just to go, I want to be a YouTuber and make all your money on doing that, unless you're under 20 or you've got, you've got a great body.
Well, in 2017, YouTube hit 1 billion active users.
Yeah.
So now the odds of becoming a YouTube star and making that, just say to be comfortable, say you want to make $200,000 a year, all right, which is a lot, right? But it's still, the odds are the same now as if you were a kid and want to become an NFL star.
True.
Actually, you're probably better. You probably have a better chance of becoming an NFL football player than you are a YouTube star now.
Yeah, and what's happened with YouTube is that they have, it's been very commercialized, like with BuzzFeed and some of the other, there are content producer networks now. Instead of you and me, if I come up with a funny cat video and it goes viral, heck, that may make me $4,000 or $5,000. I'm super excited. I got $4 grand because I showed my cat. However, if I want to make a living at it, I'm competing with places like BuzzFeed and Centergen and a couple other of these large production companies. Where you go into, you go into an office and there's 200 people working there, and each show has a team of 12. And you know, I know a couple people who've got a team, and there's 8 people doing all those 10 best, you know, the 10 best unsolved mysteries you never heard of. You know, there are people doing research, and there's teams behind those, and there's money. And because of the money involved, that's what I'm talking about. It's difficult to make money monetizing it off of YouTube, but
or Twitch.
Twitch.
Because you know who owns Twitch, right? Amazon.
Yeah. Okay. So
it's an Amazon company.
Yeah. And,
so
and
they put the money.
Yeah. If you're involved with Twitch and you're a high-profile Twitch person, you're not making money off that feed.
No.
You're getting paid a salary by someone else. It's just like the hot wing guy who does the questions and the hot wings.
Oh, yeah.
He's a personality. He gets paid not a whole ton of money for what he's doing on that channel. And so he's not the guy who's collecting the check at the end of the day.
No.
There's a content network behind him, and he's just the host. And so it's that type of thing right now. Is you can get a paycheck, but you know, doing yourself as YouTube stuff. But
so I guess so because of Facebook Live and Twitter, and Periscope and
IGTV.
Okay, so I guess once we're all famous, once we're all you know, everybody's famous. We're all famous, right?
Yeah.
So now what? Now we're going to be non-famous?
Well, and I don't even want, like, when I'm talking about like vlogging, your goal is to be an authority over being famous. I want to have you be and give the best information, plumbing information that you can on the internet, and I want you to give a flavor for your plumbing company. And you should be doing that so when people search for, you know, Tampa plumbing, you come up and there's a video there of you showing why your plumbing is the best plumbing.
Right.
Not necessarily because, like, you're number 2 on YouTube for, if I'm typing in funny water videos or funny, you know, destruction things, you come up destroying a sink. You should come up as a resource rather than kind of being famous.
Right.
And that's where I like to tell people is, and then also you've got the stats on how many videos and how many hundreds of hours and thousands of hours a minute are uploaded to YouTube every minute. And
300 hours.
Yeah. And so it's
every minute.
Every minute.
Every 1 minute.
1 minute.
300 hours.
You could never watch all the videos. If you sat and you were in solitary confinement in a jail, you would die before you were able to watch all the videos because you literally can't catch up with them. But
well, here's the thing. By the time you've watched one video, there will be 1,000 more added to the YouTube site.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And so your goal is not necessarily to be famous. It's to be you know, some type of resource, and that's what I like telling people.
And I hear a lot of people go, well, yeah, you know, I need to do, and we tell people, okay, so now we're going to get into what's sitting in front of Erik, right? So you need the days of the webcams and the phones are, I mean, other than super quick little things, are over.
Yeah.
You know, to use your webcam to be a YouTuber, no, you're just a Patreon taking your clothes off.
If you're a cam girl, you can still use it.
Yeah, exactly. You know. So, but I hear all these people, well, you know, Damon Johns does it, right?
Yeah.
You know, which is the owner of FUBU, and he's a shark, right?
Yeah.
Well, he does it because he has a whole crew behind him that does it for him. Now, do you think he's sitting there literally holding his phone? No, he's not. It doesn't work that way.
It's just like...
and even he has messed up to the point where he's used the wrong camera. They set it up wrong because they don't know what they're doing. It's kind of funny that here's a guy that should know what he's doing.
It's like
and his FUBU is now Ubuf, right?
Yeah.
It's not hard to have someone take your camera, but they all want to see themselves type of thing. Well, there's a rig out there, actually, believe it or not. Yeah. For you people that want to use your phones, and stay on this right here and do it. There's a rig out there that if you want to do it right, you put your camera and the rig has a mirror behind it.
Oh, yeah,
so you can see yourself.
Yeah.
But now, instead of it, I'm going to pick on David John.
That's okay.
So instead of it saying "ubuf," it'll say "fubu," or it'll say your name correctly.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And it's not
it's kind of, it makes me, it angers me when I see people going, "Okay, you're just an idiot."
Yeah,
because
you don't know this. Well,
No.
and that's the thing is gone are the days of that being okay to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is if I'm a lawyer, and I have, and I've seen this. I have not my client, but a lawyer had a charity thing, and they were talking about how they are great in charity, and the charity thing was backwards.
Yeah.
It was a racing thing, and it was backwards, and I was like,
So
that
now it's a
doesn't
backwards
lend
racing.
credibility to your.
You got to run
brand.
backwards in this thing.
Yeah, yeah, and so it just doesn't lend, But you're right. The days of the, stuff is over. You
Yeah.
know.
So basically, your shirt better read the same thing front and back if you're going to do it the
Well,
wrong way.
here's the thing. Kinda, right?
Yeah.
So here's the thing: if you're going to continue to use these, and you're going to use them the wrong way, okay, well then have
No.
all your shirts printed backwards.
Yeah.
Have all your stuff backwards so
There you
people
go.
can read it.
Or wear a plain colored shirt.
Or don't wear nothing, no
Yeah.
logos at all.
Exactly.
Exactly.
It's really frustrating to me because I know it can be done better and I know it can be done right. And if I see, I'll tell you, here's what I'm tired of: all the selfies in the bathrooms.
Ah,
Do you not have another room in the house that looks a little bit better? Because I don't want to see your toilet
but
brush
your
on the
mom's gonna know. It's like,
Well, have your boyfriend take the picture.
don't we have
Exactly.
any other mirrors in our house? I mean,
right.
come on.
Yeah. Well,
aggravating.
but
It's just-
that's the thing. There's kind of a minimum standard nowadays. Like, if you're one of the 300 hours every minute, and they're not talking, videos. That's hours. So you're, like you said, that's 1,000 videos a minute.
Right.
And if yours is, with overhead lighting and it's horrible, and you don't bother to really take the time to, if you think your gardening site is going to come up, that's great. But it's really about kind of showing. And so that's why I brought a whole bunch of stuff today.
We like
And
stuff.
Boy, you did.
I did.
You got
And-
toys.
I did get toys. However, I run with the caveat that the toys don't make the thing. In terms of, if you go and after I get done and you run out and buy the most expensive toy, then you're going to be sad, and because it won't be any better than because John will still outshoot you with his phone, even if with a $10,000 camera. And so, so the levels of I just want to check this out and get into it are something like this. So I have my phone on here.
Now, which one is that?
This is the Zoom. This is the Smooth 4, and so
I love this. Is that the smooth or is that the smooth?
Smooth.
Smooth.
Yeah,
okay.
this is this little thing is basically what this does is it allows. Let me see if my battery's even on. Yeah,
There you go.
there we go. But it will keep my thing is not. Yeah, my battery's dead. But basically what this does is this is called a gimbal. And
Yep.
what it does is if I'm shooting a selfie and I move around and I want to see, it keeps my phone stable, especially if I'm doing like a real estate thing and I'm walking around a house or I'm walking around the front of a house going, hey, everybody, I'm me and I'm going to be talking to you about this, and I'm walking around. This keeps that from going like this and all your audience getting
So
seasick.
you don't want that?
No, you do not want that.
It's not Michael Bay doing Avatar running down a hill.
No, right.
It's so I can go up here and it kind of shows,
Yeah.
and I can move this around. But so this is kind of the bare minimum. This comes with a tripod and stuff like this. These you
That's
can
the
get-
DJI, right?
No, this is not the DJI. This is basically the Smooth 4 is the Zhiyun. It's a Chinese, basically.
It's a version of the smooth. See, I have the smooth.
It's a version of the.
Right.
It's the same.
Does that have the kickers that come out of the bottom of it down there?
No, this has actually. This has this. That
Ah,
screws
it's a
onto
tripod. Okay.
There's two. These handheld phone gimbals. There's two that are good. This one and then the DJI. Very good. The DJI is a little more expensive. It's a little more sturdy. This is good, and it zooms really well. There's a couple cool things you can do with it when you
But
move
how
in.
would they use that to do their own vlog?
I can basically, I'm just going to set this up, and I
got
can
it.
put this on a table, and it will stay where I want it to. So if I'm up here,
Okay.
or if I'm,
Right.
especially like I'm talking maybe for real estate agents or someone who wants to be
Or a
walk
walking
around.
blog.
Yeah, walking blog or something like
Rob's
this.
in my
These
ear
are-
going, they can walk and blog with that.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
there's nothing more annoying than watching a video and then the video shaking up and
Up
down
and
and
down.
moving
It's so
around, and
painful.
it's I agree, because it makes you you can't focus on it, and you know, even if the content's good, you're getting sick.
If you're
Okay,
showing something like a location, you know.
let me give you the very instance. So I'm looking to change my tensioner pulley on my truck.
right.
Now, on most of them I've done before, it's not a big deal. It's just to unbolt, push over the screwdriver,
Yeah,
blah, blah,
right,
blah. But
yeah.
I drive an H2, so a little more difficult to get into it.
Yeah.
Right. So I watched a video on this guy showing us how to do it. I was about to puke halfway
yeah.
through.
Yeah.
Because he was like showing. Now I'm like, what are you showing? No, stop.
These type
Yeah.
of things allow you for smooth transitions, and like if I'm showing a house or a car or doing something like that, I can move around, and it's a much better experience for your people. And these DJIs, I think, are about $300. This is $200, so it's a little
Yeah,
bit.
the one I had was $199, but
Yeah,
again, they
that's-
sent it to us as a test, not as a.
Yeah.
I didn't
And
buy it.
that's not a bad price for just. I mean, you already have the phone's more than capable.
Your phone is more than capable right now. If you're just starting, if you're going, I think I want to be on YouTube and doing a vlog and talking to people on a regular basis. There's a couple of ways of handling it. You can have people doing it for you, and then you can put those out each week, like an FAQ, or you can be on like a show like John's that gives information. Or if you want to do it yourself, and just talk to people about, like, especially for, like, I'm just using real estate as an example, or plumbing, or electricians. I could be out showing, oh my God, look at today's crazy, electrical nightmare that we're fixing.
Right.
That would be a great blog for you to illustrate how professional and smart you are about what is going on with someone's house. And so these are really helpful for kind of the outside things and stuff like this, and they're kind of the bare minimum. And I feel that if you're sitting like this talking to people, that's an okay vlog, but you better be doing something or showing something. And I like these are for good walking.
How
around.
about the microphone on those? I mean,
Well,
or an
that's a
add-on
microphone on your
on your phone. But is there any kind of like?
Not for something like these. If you go to the next level of like the DJI, like the Mavic, I've got a larger rig that's like you hold and there's like a friggin' remote control and you use two people to control it. Those are great, but like for just you and you.
Oh, you talking about for audio input?
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
well,
Oh no,
yeah.
no. There's
Oh, no,
the
there's-
iRigs.
Yeah, there's plenty of ones you
But
can.
but
add.
the problem with let me have
Yeah.
this.
I mean, I see there's.
Okay, so the problem with doing an audio input for this is the fact that first of all you're going to have to do your connection somehow, which is this is
the Note 9.
the Note 9. So to where it's being held, you can't put your connection in, right?
Yeah.
So this is one of those things where you're just going to have to suck it up, or I tell a lot of people go with a Bluetooth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because if you go Bluetooth, right, you can actually have a nice Bluetooth rig on, and it'll work really well with
That's
it.
a smart idea.
Which
Yeah.
I did. We use those. Okay, so we use these units as a, say we're at an event somewhere, and my guy needs to go to the other side, and I really don't want to bring a big cable over there, and I don't want to go, or I don't want to go put the wireless rig out. We'll go him, and he'll do it from his phone. He'll wear a Bluetooth headset, and then we'll capture that feed back at the booth. Because most times we go to events and we set up and we stream live.
Yeah.
So while he's over there doing his own thing, we're pulling that back, and the audio sounds really good because he's Bluetooth into. So if you want to have good audio, believe it or not, some Bluetooth is really good.
Nice.
So use Bluetooth.
That's smart. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't even thought of that.
Yeah, I'm a live guy,
Yeah.
so everything I do is all about live.
And John is also a sound guy. He is a master sound person, so it's one of those that you know the tricks
Yeah.
of.
Nothing about having a nice stable video and you can't hear the person talking.
Oh yeah, or it sounds
Yeah,
like they're in a tin can.
Yeah, like this. If you're talking, it's horrible. And so this is kind of your first entry. I would recommend this to people who you go, I think I want to do this. This is the think stage.
Right.
I think I want to do this. I'll give you some advice for YouTube. At least once a week, you need to be putting a video.
Oh yeah.
And
another thing about this too as well is, you know, it's cheaper to go get this
yeah.
than it is to go get that.
Oh, heck
in the
yeah.
beginning. So get this first.
Yeah.
Get comfortable with being on.
Yeah.
I really like this. I'm going to have to
That's
play
a great.
with this.
This is a fun. This is got. You can use this as a trick. There's a camera trick where you know it. It's,
Yeah.
You're walking forward but zooming back, or
Yeah.
zooming back and walking backwards.
Yeah.
You can actually do this with this
Yeah.
rig, and so this is kind of cool. And then this has a little bit of a cool thing where normally it's stable, so I want to move around and it keeps me.
Does it do
here.
face tracking?
Yeah, and
That's
the other
awesome.
part of it
Nice.
is that if I put it, like if I'm trying to shoot, if I'm a food person and if I'm making food like a chef, I can actually angle it, and then if I leave it, there's a mode on it, it leaves it like here, so as I move this around, it stays this and doesn't try and reset
locks
itself. It locks it in.
Locks on the food,
so
right?
I can move it around like this. And,
Yeah,
and
that's the way mine is. Mine has it where once I hit a trigger,
Yeah.
it tells the phone or the camera to go, this is my
This is
tracking
your target,
location,
yeah.
and then I can go like this and get this really nice,
Yeah,
smooth.
nice.
Yeah.
This has a couple of controls I'll just show you. One is like the trigger John was talking about. This has got a little trigger here and up and down. And then this right here is you can use as zoom or focus. And so if you want to do like a cinematography type of thing where you can control the focus, so this is in focus and someone's face is out, and then you can switch those.
Right.
It's one of those, not for a blog would be kind of, I mean, you could for food or something.
Well,
like
I mean,
that
you
would
could
be
because you
cool.
can now. Does that have the trigger where you can go front camera, back camera?
Yeah.
Okay, so you trigger over. So you're doing your blog. So you say you're a foodie, right? You're
Yeah,
sitting there
so
going,
we're looking
okay,
at our food like
well,
this,
you know,
yeah.
this is what we're trying to do. Then you hit the button and boom, and it pops to the back.
Yeah, and it'll come up and
That's
take
awesome.
a picture of me, and then I can click it again, and it'll go back to the food.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
And so,
all right, so let's
yeah.
move to the next
Yeah, let's-
step up.
So this is I'm comfortable. I'm comfortable now.
Right.
I've done this. I'm comfortable. This is a smaller rig. This is a DSLR. This is a smaller camera. This is really inexpensive. And so this is kind of the Costco. You go to Costco and get the kit.
Right.
And then, so this kit with this and then two lenses, it's like $500.
Right.
So this is the Nikon
3400.
D3400. Great camera. It'll do 1080 video. It's good. One of the things we'll talk about in John's I'm
Pet
gonna
peeve.
mute his mic right now because I'm going to talk about 4K video for a little bit.
I'm
Because
okay with 4K.
4K video.
If you're going to
If you're
4K,
going to 4K and you're shooting for a film festival or something like that, if you're shooting with YouTube, you can go with, if you even find a used camera that's a 1080 HD camera, that's basically the highest that YouTube is going to get, and really the highest that your monitors or phone is really going to, except for that compression and stuff like this. So basically, this is a great camera. It's got 2 batteries on here. This is with the power grip and everything, and these are about $500.
now you get that came with the power grip, the whole 9 yards.
Actually, I bought the power. This was like $499. I think the power grip is from Amazon, and it was like $60.
Okay.
And this holds 2 batteries instead of the 1.
Nice.
And so it gives you a longer cycle time. It's twice the power. And then this is the Tascam camera for a microphone,
Tascar.
a shot. Yeah.
Tacstar.
Tacstar.
That's Tacstar.
Okay. This is and this is like, I think this was $40 or $50. It's one step up above your microphone on your camera. And so it's not going to give you the quality sound that you're going to get in a studio or anything, but it's better than the echoey thing that you're going to always try and use an external microphone.
Now, is that the one that has the audio that feeds through the shoe, or do you have to plug it into?
You got to plug it in.
Plug it into the bass?
Yeah, you plug it in.
To the audio input.
And so these basically plug in, everything's battery powered, and you're basically kind of setting it up. I'm going to shoot like this. So I'm going to put it somewhere and shoot, or you're carrying it around. There are people who carry it around.
Does that have the flip-out screen?
No.
So that means you need what?
An external.
Dun, dun, dun.
These are external monitors.
Yep.
And this one is very inexpensive because it's used for two things. One is focusing and getting really sharp.
It's really odd. It's just for you to look at. It's not for you to do editing
framing.
On.
This is kind of going to get you here. So I make sure I'm not standing over here or wrong.
Can I see that one?
Yeah. This is battery powered. It's about $150, and it's really useful for the basics of checking out your shot, essentially, and making sure
it's HDMI in only.
Yeah.
Oh no, it has other ones too.
Yeah, you get your other, but it's designed for kind of the DSLR world of
right.
These are nice because you can plug this in and have this. So I'm shooting like this, and then this thing is actually behind it. You can set this up on a stand.
Well, actually, they make a shoe.
Yeah.
They make a shoe that's
like
an L shape. Yeah, and you put your mic on, and then it comes up, and you put on, and then you put your monitor on.
And I don't have that here, but it's so you're kind of looking at yourself and making sure that that shot is right there, and so you can go, okay, I'm in frame. My car or house or whatever I'm trying to promote is.
You have no lipstick on your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. My hair's fixed or whatever it is.
Broccoli's out.
So it's useful for that. So I'll go into this. Basically, this will shoot your video. You start the video, you talk, you do your thing, and you're done. And so for about $500 or $600, you can really get a regular thing, and you could be doing this every day and just kind of sitting. And this you can put the grip like this on the bottom, or just hold this like this and talk. As long as you're kind of stable.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's not a good idea. You've seen like Casey Nesbitt and some of these other guys like skateboarding down the street holding these things. Don't. They've done that for a long time. You should take this, and if you're moving a location, cut it, and then put this down and do it somewhere else. Otherwise, you'll get wind noise. And
here's something I'm going to say. That little holder there is really cool, but I'm a tripod guy. So get yourself a tripod. If you get the right tripod, you can put it on your, because the video should never be shooting up your nose.
No.
That's so bad. I don't want to see that you did cocaine last night.
Yeah. Always
I'm
have
just
it a
saying.
little bit above. Yeah.
Right. Or I don't know. I don't want to know. I don't want to see that you have a cold and snot's rolling out. So a tripod. You can get for your DSLRs, you can get a little tripod for like $30.
I have one. I didn't bring it, but I have one. I just got one at Best Buy for a different thing, but it was $20.
Right.
And it's shockingly stable for $20.
So you set it up. Everything's eye level.
Yeah.
framing. No, so okay, I'm going to show you right now.
Yes.
On what you're seeing right on the screen, right? So this is your bottom third, typically knees, right? This is your top third, typically your eyes.
Yeah.
Right? So this space up here, and this space here, and this space way down here, you don't want your eyeballs in there.
Yeah.
Right? So you want thirds. We shoot everything in thirds. Mm-hmm. And you have
the rule of thirds.
And it's rule of thirds, and you have one here, and you have one down here. Keep your eyes typically there when you have a person shot.
Yeah. You should
so if it's close up, your
eyes
should be right. I'm trying to do this right where your eyes should be.
Yeah. You think sometimes that you should be staring right into the camera, and that's not always the case. You want it a little bit above. And the other part of it is if you're like me and you have rugged good looks. However, you have a few extra pounds.
Rugged.
When you shoot down,
Rob's laughing in the back, rolling on the floor.
Yeah,
that was so funny.
Exactly. Yeah. When you have rugged glue looks like mine, and you have a few extra pounds, one of the things you can do to hide stuff is shoot a little bit above, and what that does is it makes you look up and brings your chin and the other stuff down a tiny bit. And so you'll see a lot of people who do the thing will come. You don't want it at extreme angles like this, but you do want it a little bit above. And so that's what the next level can do. And
all right, let's go to the big boy level, because I also want to get into. It's great that you're going to do this, but you've got to have a way to get this stuff to the internet.
Yes, and that's
I'll go through that.
That's the thing. This next level is kind of the and I'll preface this with I'm a fine art photographer as well. So this kind of camera setup is, for me anyway, primarily so I can shoot artwork and things like this. However, this is a video camera, and it will shoot 4K and all this stuff, but shoot in 1080. And then so you've got a larger camera. This is the tripod, and it's a bendy tripod. So
it's a bendy.
I love these.
Actually, that one's really good because it actually can grip around a pole.
It can, and also you can use this. I'm in Florida, and so I like being in woods or rocks or whatever it is. These are great. You can spin around and do all kinds of things. This is the Nikon 850. It's got a 45.5 megapixel frame if you're shooting stills. And this is kind of the Tamron's lens. So, and then this also has got the Rode mic. This is the Rode mic Pro with what they call the dead cat on it. So you're reducing your wind noise and things like this. A rig like this, you're moving from 500. You could probably move in between it. This is probably about $8,000 altogether. So you're looking at, with this particular lens and this camera setup. I don't, some of the vlogging I'll do on this one, but I also keep this as well. But so your ability to change some things and go manual and change different things is much better. And then you have a better microphone setup. And then the microphone, you can take this and put this on a pole. So you can have the microphone overhead, so it's a little bit better.
Which is called a boom mic.
A boom mic. And then, basically this is just kind of the next level. This is, like I said, the Nikon D850. I'm kind of agnostic because I've got the other EOS Canons Mark IV, the 5D. They're both about the same price. You're both going to be paying.
You're just showing off now.
No, I'm telling people, if for still cameras, I love Nikons. They're great cameras. Their autofocus for video sucks.
Yeah, it does.
So if I'm as we're saying, the next levels, there's $500 cameras in the Canon range and $8,000 cameras in the Canon range as well. I would, if I was going to use it primarily for a video type of thing, I'd either buy a video camera or I'd get a Canon because they have better autofocus. I actually use this frequently, and it's manual focus. I put it on manual.
Well, that's just it. Okay, so if you're doing talking head and you're not walking around, this is called talking head. Was what we do here, right? Then you know what? Just manually focus it.
Yeah.
You're not going to be moving around. It doesn't matter.
Right.
My camera's right there. We have 4 cameras that sits in front of us right now, right? And we're a little beyond that. That's a good camera to use. His Nikon, his big boy. But we have 4 cameras here that are all focused because why? We're not moving around.
Yeah, we're in one spot, and that kind of gives us.
Yeah. Even if I do this or this on each of the cameras, we set that. We set that depth, right? So let's just, I think autofocus is for when you walk around and you're shooting stuff and you're going from wide to short angles, and you're trying to show stuff in the distance, like say you're doing a walk through the New York City vlog and you're blah blah blah, and you're on yourself. But hey, look at this building. You turn your camera around, it autofocuses on the building, which is fine.
What happens with autofocus is, especially with larger cameras like these, when you leave them on, what they try and do is make sure everything's in focus when you're shooting. And so what happens is everything will be in focus, you'll be great, your autofocus will be on, and for just a second, it goes out of focus and in focus.
Right.
And so if you're doing a 5-minute video and that happens 3 times, it's distracting for your viewers.
Yep.
And so it's one of those that you can leave it off. The other cameras, believe me, I don't get paid by any of these guys. You know what's a good vlogging and video cameras are Sonys. They have really good both low and high-end cameras. They're really good for the videos. The microphones on them suck, and so you always want to have. But all the microphones suck on all these. But for the Sonys, those are good cameras.
Well, actually, Canon makes that Vixia.
Yeah.
HF G21. It's like $800.
I love those.
That is a good little camera. The only problem with me, the reason we don't use them is their HDMI, because you can't touch HDMI. HDMI ports burn out.
Yeah.
The minute you wiggle-waggle too much, eventually they burn themselves out.
That's why when we say there are different levels, there's different levels of, like, this is a $500 camera. Yep. Its body is plastic. It's a great camera, but if I drop it, it's going to break. And it has what they call a cycle lifetime, is how many hours the video can manage on the chip, how many frames that the shutter is going to last. And so it's designed for me either starting vlogging or taking this out to family functions occasionally and things like this. If you're going to start to vlog every day or take pictures every day, this is why professionals use professional stuff.
Right.
It's because this is a 50,000 cycle and this is a $400,000 cycle.
And well, and okay, so and another thing is you need to, and this is one thing that a lot of people, they'll run out and because they get all nerdy about, oh, it's the new camera.
Yeah.
It's all about the glass.
It is.
The lens is what makes the camera. I can go buy the most expensive camera out there, but if I don't have a good lens on it, I might as well bought the cheapest camera. It just, you know.
If you go into YouTube, there's a guy who's a pretty popular photographer, and he has there's the next level above this camera is the EOS 1, and it's a $9,000 camera.
Body.
Just
the body.
Just this part, and then he puts. And then he took one of the Rebel, like the smaller Canons, and he took this $9,000 camera and he bought a Vivitar lens from like B&H camera, and just like a $200 lens, and he shot with it.
Yep.
And then he took the junky camera and then put one of these $3,000 lenses.
Those are called prime lenses.
Yeah, and so you put a lens with this and with big glass and real glass. And so he shot with that, and you could see the difference. And it's funny because it's like, I spent $10,000 and I have the best, and I'm a doctor and I can afford this. Doesn't matter.
Nope.
Go, like you said, go with the glass.
I can take that D3400 and put a prime lens on it and shoot better than that with a normal lens on it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All day long.
Yeah.
Same thing, like our cameras in studio are, they come with a prime lens.
Yeah.
For the two big ones, but we can take the big sports lenses that are like that long.
Oh yeah, those are awesome.
We can put those on our cameras.
Yeah.
and the video that comes out of them is absolutely phenomenal. But
yeah.
But,
so this is, and these are still, you can still pick this up, and theoretically I could hold it and point it at people.
Yeah, you could.
If you're like working out and CrossFit and stuff like that.
So so here's the thing, and this is John's pet peeve. If you are shooting for YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Justin TV, live stream, what's the other one out there that's Twitch?
Yeah.
Or I'm leaving somebody out. Anyway, another streaming platform. 1920 by 1080 is the largest they're going to take right now. They'll take 4K, but it'll crush it. You'll get crushed.
Yeah.
Right? And then
what he means is they're going to make it smaller.
Right.
And they control how they make it smaller, and you may not like it.
And you shoot at either 29.97 or 30 frames,
Yep.
or 59.94 or 60 frames. Don't shoot in 24p. You can't. It's first of all, it's not a streaming codec.
What he's talking about
the
is
frame rate.
Is the frame how many frames a second your camera is recording. If you're kind of like me, I'm going to move this. If you're kind of like me and you're kind of being artsy, you can do
Artsy-fartsy.
24 frames a second. Or if I'm shooting my next, Avatar film, I'm shooting 24 frames a second.
And
'cause
why?
It's like film.
Right. It's going to film.
It's going to but when you are vlogging, you really want to be at like the 29.97, which is basically 30 frames a second. It allows you to have less motion blur, and you'll sync up with the video cameras better. There's all kinds of things that it can do.
Well, and then audio.
And then audio.
Because audio is not recorded in 24 frames.
Right.
Ever.
And so, yeah. So you'll come up, if you shoot with a longer type of thing, you're going to come up with a type of lag that's...
Well, what happens, it's called drift.
Oops.
All right. So when you get these people that are shooting in 24 frames, and then the next thing you know, you're going and voicing everything into a recorder, or all your audio has now been sent to an MP3. Because why don't anyway. These little recorders, and next thing you know, now you've got to take that little recording audio and you got to match it up to 24 frames per second. You're going to have to know how to deal with drift.
Yeah.
And what drift is when you get the little Chinese movies and yes, nope.
Yeah.
And you're like, what's going on? Because you now have drifted. We have a client that edits their own videos, and he edits in Final Cut, and we shoot in a Premiere codec for vMix, right?
Yeah.
So when we send him stuff, he has to tell Final Cut to, oh yeah, by the way, keep their settings, because if you put it in the native Final Cut settings,
it will destroy it.
So you're like, oh, it looks really, in the very beginning, oh, that looks really good. Next thing you know, it's
And 2 minutes later, yeah.
for me and no, well, it's drift.
Yeah.
So you have to understand going into a project that that's what I'm going to have to deal with. And let me tell you something. If you ever see those, the shows where you'll see the editor there, and they want to show the backside of
Yeah, the
everything.
cool
and this
stuff.
editor's got like 6 layers of video, but he's got 20 layers of audio.
Yeah.
That's because he's had to fix and adjust for drift, because you can't make one adjustment. It's an adjustment every 2.5 minutes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you're like, it just staircases down because he's having to constantly fix drift.
Yeah. Because you can't just stretch.
Nope.
You
Doesn't
can't
work.
just stretch it, because then the front will be messed up.
Right.
And so there's...
It's not good. So anyway, I get off my soapbox about 24.
No, that's good.
24 frames is beautiful.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous when it goes to film.
Yeah.
Because the problem is when you output that and you put it on a DVD, or you give a thumb drive to someone and they play everything in 30 frames, or they play them in 60 frames, all of a sudden you get this jittery. You're like, ooh, what happened? Because it looks, you get these jumps. You're like, what? It's because the computers and what's that? Yeah, 3.2 yeah, exactly. I'm getting audio because me and Rob, we've been doing this for a long time. And there's actual inside the Premieres and inside the Final Cuts. There's there's a conversion, but you still have to watch it. But anyway, but DVD players, they're not made for 24 frames.
Right.
They know
They're digital.
they're right. So anyway, so that's like, unless you're shooting, unless your final product is gonna go to film, don't shoot in 24 frames per second, because you're gonna be sorely disappointed. It's great that you get to watch on your computer, but the minute you give that to somebody else, or you put that up to YouTube, or you put that to Facebook, or you put that on Instagram, it will not convert correctly.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about the converting process.
Oh, wait a minute, one more thing.
Yeah.
So what you didn't talk about is lighting.
Lighting, I didn't bring my lighting rigs in because you don't necessarily need them. You need a window.
Well, I tell everybody one of the cheapest things to go get is go get a LumaCube.
Okay.
LumaCubes are $69, and they have filters that go on them. So you can get either a blast of light or a wash of light, or you can do a color corrective of what's the tint? Rob, help me out here. There's a there's a special color that you can put on LEDs or fluorescents or whatever.
For the blue.
And it's a color correction. It's a color correction film, so you can get skin tone.
Okay.
The biggest thing that you ever look for in cameras and setting your lighting and stuff is skin tone.
Yes.
If you're blue, first of all, if you're blue, you can't fix it post.
Yeah.
Well, you can, but it looks jacked up.
You'll look like a sunburned.
Yeah. You can't fix overblown ever. You just can't. If it's overblown, it's overblown. You know, undersaturated light, you can fix. You can add skin tone. You can add blues. You can add reds.
Yeah.
You're okay. But if you're going to do this the right way, it's just like he said a while ago. I can use this, but if I have the right audio and I have the right lighting, this you'll never know I shot on this.
Right.
Ever.
Yeah. The iPhone videos, they famously did. Apple famously did a video that was like this commercial. They did all this cool.
They did
stuff,
a movie.
They're like,
they shot a movie with the iPhone.
We shot a movie on an iPhone. Well, they also used $12,000 Bronica lights that were.
Yes.
So it's one of those type of things, and they had a crew of 25.
We shot 3 years ago. Is it 3 years ago? Yeah, 3 years ago we shot at a local event here in Newport Richey, and I used my cell phone rig.
Cool.
And my cell phone rig
that's a neat
it's a full rig, right? It's got lighting, it's got audio, so I can have a wireless microphone.
Yep.
Right, and I have a mixer, so I had multiple mics, so I was able to shoot that. And people go, "Oh, you're going to shoot that on there?" Okay. And then when I gave them their videos a week later, they're like, "You shot that on that?" I'm like, "Yep," because I take stuff out of auto mode. I don't use auto mode on my phone. I turn it off so I can manually set my lighting and my audio. And if you have a little lighting rig, you're good. But the LumaCube, they're so cheap.
That's a great idea. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because I've got that camera and this camera. You know, you've got these 64 settings of like $9,000 camera, and I always laugh because it's like I've got the most expensive camera you can buy, and I use it on manual all the time. All the time.
Yeah.
I never. I'm like, I've even forgotten like. This is aperture priority mode. I'm like, you never get it right.
So we only have 5 minutes left. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to leave you hanging. Sorry.
I love it.
So next on Thursday.
Yes.
Thursday we're going to talk about all the platforms that you can stream to, as well as some of the cheapest gear you can use, and some of the most expensive gear that you can use. Like our system back in the back.
Yeah.
You're talking 15, 20 grand.
Yeah.
For us to do what we do, but we're running a TV station.
Right.
But if you want to get started for a little bit of money,
yeah.
Just this beautiful little laptop here that Adam fixed.
Yes.
And it does work well. You can use this in conjunction with that, or you can run out and get a, dare I say this word, a 4K webcam. The reason I'm saying the 4K webcam is because the 4K gets dumbed down to about 1080. Yeah. So you get the 4K depth, but you only get the 1080 look. But it's got a good enough aperture on it to make it look good.
Yeah.
I'm getting all beklimped.
The other part of it is so now I shot my vlog. Now I got to get it from here onto YouTube on my little card.
Right.
And so
don't forget about speed of those also.
This is right. This particular card is actually not even for this particular camera. And so
we'll talk about that too. Transfer medium. And then, and the thing of it is to do all of this, you need a computer that actually runs right.
Yeah.
So Adam will tell us the way to set the computers up. Because everybody thinks you just go buy a computer, slap it down, put some software on it, and away you go.
I can do my own videos. Yeah.
It's not the way it works, folks.
And it'll be painful. And if you're doing it for time versus money, that's a big deal.
Yeah. Right.
Sometimes when we talk about doing the stuff, we talk about rendering. So it's your final product. And the computer can be the difference between 2 hours and 20 minutes for rendering a 5-minute video. And at $150 an hour, that makes a big difference.
And
over
I'm
the
going to
course of a
teach you
day.
how, and I'm going to show you the software that you don't have to edit with. There's the big deal.
There you go.
I'm going to take the whole editing process out of it, and you're going to be able to do just like what we're doing here.
What are you talking about, John?
I know. Heaven forbid. No more editing. Thank God.
I love it.
But yeah, it's instead of just trying to beat a dead horse to get,
Yeah.
we're going to show you how to do it.
Yeah.
How to beat the horse?
How to beat the horse.
How to
We
beat
will
that
beat the horse.
I like
We will
that.
beat the horse. No, I'm just but if you have any questions, and before then,
Yeah.
if you've got questions that you want to ask or you want us to answer on Thursday, I know that's why I'm taking my time.
Yeah.
And just email us. Rob will put up the. There we go. So text Shamans
Yeah.
at webeamtv.com or hit us up on Facebook. If you want to know equipment, if you have more questions on equipment, cameras, but next on this Thursday, in the next show, we will talk about
Yeah.
the software
Yeah.
and the hardware
Yeah.
that you need to, because again, your computers have got to be set up correctly.
Yeah.
If they're not set up correctly, I don't care who you are, it's just not going to work.
We'll answer the question is can you edit this video that you get out of here on your 5-year-old work computer?
Right. Or
We'll find out.
can I go buy one of those $4.99 laptops at Best Buy?
What about my
and will that
Chromebook?
work?
Yeah, I was just thinking the same thing. What about my Chromebook? Can I edit?
Can I use my Chromebook to? No.
Yeah, no.
Well, already, no. That's a spoiler. No.
No.
But
That's-
we will talk about that. And please.
Unless you're doing live.
Unless you're doing live.
The
Yeah.
live, I'm telling you, the live is gonna change your world because you don't have to edit.
Yeah, the live stuff we can talk a little bit about also. I think that's important because it's a different kind of feel.
Hold on, Ed, you have not been. We go back to the wide. No, Ed, you have not been replaced
No, I love it.
ever. And my buddy's like, so I've been replaced? Hell no.
No. Yeah. So that's so that's kind of the long and short. As you're leveling up to this stuff, you can really figure out a little bit more about what you want to do, and how much time you have for this stuff. Because it's John offers a service, you can do it. You come in and do it, and you pay. Is it your time? Are you doing this for a passion? Is this a gardening vlog, or are you trying to get business with this? Or we're taking these into bars and doing reviews on beers. Maybe.
7, 6. So we will see you
ya.
guys on Thursday at 11 a.m. Make sure you are stay tuned, or you are tuned in,
Yeah.
so we'll answer your questions.
Remember your
Enjoy that
questions.
extra hour in the evening.
We got the plans cause we are the tech shamans. We understand cause we are the tech shamans.
Dude, I got this cool thing to show you. Really, man? Yeah, it's far out and technical and stuff. Awesome. Yeah.
Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans. Come on and turn it on. Tune into the tech shamans.
Cool.